Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's almost the start of a new year, and I've got a little bit of energy. So I thought, why not just pop on and share what the first year of the Empower AI ecosystem has all been about and what I see moving forward for 2026 in the agent creation space. So this is going to be my new setup. I've got a new microphone, I've got a new camera. Hopefully this is a better quality than it has been in the past. So I'm going to be doing a lot more lives, a lot more conversations around agentic AI, AI agents, the Empower AI ecosystem. So I've been in business for about 15 years. If you don't know me, welcome into my humbled abode, my world that we share together. And I started using AI about 4.5 years ago. I'm dyslexic and I wanted to be able to spell better, basically. And the tool I was using was just absolute pants. So I thought, okay, I'll try ChatGPT and see if that works, see if that's any better. And it was absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, it just completely changed my life. I was able to express myself like I could never do before. I could create, I think very quickly, so I could create quickly. I could put programs together quickly. I could deliver training quickly. I always felt that I was in the slow lane with the dyslexia, and using AI just speeded that up. So obviously, over the years, I've worked with thousands and thousands and thousands of founders over those 15 years successfully. I've done a whole variety of online. So my thing initially was creating a signature program, helping people to identify, create, and sell the signature program. And then I started using AI to, what I found, people got stuck. They would create the signature program. They would work with you. They would increase their fee significantly. Clients were going from £100 an hour to charging over 5K for a signature program, which gave them the longevity, the depth of work it is that they wanted to do. But what I noticed was that when people stopped the program, they sort of, because they'd use their sort of inner circle and people who knew them and people who wanted to work with them, that ran dry. So what I started to do was I started to create courses using AI that filled those gaps. So how to do a webinar, how to do a masterclass, how to do a virtual summit, all of the things that go around, how to create a list. I did all of that using AI. Now, the difference with the Empower AI ecosystem is quite big. What most people are doing is they are creating a course or a program. They're taking their IP and they're putting that into a course or a program. That is brilliant, but it's only going to take you. This is a different system that we've built. In the Empower AI ecosystem, one of the services that we offer is to turn people's IP into agents that they can sell to their clients. So they have an additional income stream. So they act as companions, AI companions to courses, to someone's expertise. But these agents are very different because they're built to stand on their own right. Some of them have been created from my IP and my methodologies, and some of them have been created to fulfill a specific role, which is very different to an agent that is created to sit along a course or a program. When you create an agent to sit along the side of a course or a program, it has a container. It's contained within the logic, the framework of the course, the program, the methodology of the client, which of course is what you want. You want that. So I have an agent that I've created that helps you to do your signature program, obviously. So I've taken my IP and I've created that agent, and it sits within inside that container to help people to create their signature program and some of the assets around that. Now, Empower AI agents are different. The strategic agents are different because they're designed to fulfill a role. Not only that, they can have a conversation with one another. So during the week, I always use the CEO. Lucas, I struggle with big picture. So I use Lucas to have an ongoing conversation with during the week. And then what I can do is I can pull in my other agents to see their perspective and what they think of the conversation above. If I was using an agent that was a bit more contained, it doesn't fulfill the same criteria, the same methodology. So there's a group of very sophisticated agents that I've created specifically for founders that help them to make faster, smarter, better business decisions. That's ultimately the value system that lies underneath each of those agents. So they're unique. They're very, very, very different. What else do I want to tell you? So last year we had 30 founders do the Vortex, the AI Vortex Accelerator under the Empower AI ecosystem. And so 30 people went through it. 14 people are now lifetime members. They loved it so much. They're staying with me basically for lifetime now. And what we saw was what we've pulled out is that people are saving around 7 hours a week and over about £5,000 in terms of marketing campaigns. So one of the things that I am going to be doing in the first quarter of next year, in a couple of days' time, is I'm going to show you how to use the agents to create a full marketing campaign. Now, this isn't just one agent that you would use to do the marketing campaign. These are the strategic agents that you bring in to have a conversation with one another to make sure that everything is aligned and on point. So each time you run a campaign, you could be saving yourself about £5,000 plus. How awesome is that? And a considerable amount of time and ease. Once you've got your own methodology locked in, which is what I'm going to teach and share, the framework, you can adapt it and then you can use it again for each campaign it is that you are launching. But because we have a strategic agent that fulfills a specific role rather than sort of a task, you can just rinse, repeat, because you'll just know how to do it. It'll just become second nature. So we've got the 11 strategic agents. They do all sorts of bits and pieces, branding, messaging, business plans, marketing campaign. I can't remember them all off the top of my head. Business coach, marketing manager. I think I said that. I'm just repeating myself now. So we have that group of strategic agents, which I think every founder needs. I think that is an absolutely awesome resource to have, because we don't always have the money to invest in the people that we want to invest in to bring into the business, which means that the business doesn't grow as fast as it should. But with the EmpowerAI ecosystem, you have access to those brains, to those resources. And not only that, the time it takes to find somebody, then you find out that they're crap. You've waited a significant amount of time, a significant amount of money. It can take you 3 months to work with someone to do a specific piece of work. If you've got the agents in your pocket, you can just get on with it. If you're like me, you just like to get on with it. You don't like to be fluffing around to have the privilege of speaking to somebody every, once a week. So what makes these agents different, and what I'm seeing in the marketplace is that, so confession, right? I have not spent thousands and thousands of pounds investing in other AI training. I did some and it was shit. So I just thought, I'm not doing any other training. I'm just going to use my own brain, what I know to be true. I'm going to run this as a big experiment with other people, see what's working, see what's not working, create the agents in a way that I want to create them from my own lived experience. So that essence of me has been built into a framework that creates the agents. So our agents are highly ethical, that have ethics built into them. They have safety features built into them. They have a container that protects the person who's using the agent. And from the agents that I've tried, I haven't to date seen anybody else doing that. That's what makes our agents unique. And the task agents do lock in methodology because let's just say we've got an agent that does a newsletter. A newsletter has a structure. It has a way it needs to be presented. It has headings. That's a task agent. That's what most people are creating, little tasks that they want the agents to create, built in line with either their training or their methodology. The strategic agents, which are based around a role and based around being more fluid. I've forgotten where I'm going with this conversation. But the strategic agents they're much more fluid. They don't lock you out. That's what I was going to say. They don't lock you into somebody else's methodology. It locks you into your own strength, your own way of thinking, your own way of doing things. That's what's important, actually. So clients creating new offers, getting knowledge out of their head. You know what it's like for being a founder. The knowledge is all in your head. It can be a real challenge. And then what happens, of course, you fall into something called decision fatigue. I think it's something like 65% of founders struggle with decision fatigue. Now, if you slip into decision fatigue, your mental health is going to suffer, because what that does is it gives you a paralysis of thinking. And I don't have that now, obviously, because I've got the agents to help me to make smarter business decisions. But if you slip into decision fatigue, that impacts the business. It means that you make slower decisions, often the wrong decisions, because you haven't got multiple perspectives to balance it out. So what I'm seeing in the AI space is that the agents that are being created are of quite poor quality. The outputs aren't great, quite predictable, a bit cheesy, just rubbish, actually, just rubbish, just absolute pants rubbish. So ethically, people should be building agents ethically so they are safe, especially if you are going to be monetizing your agents. They've got to be safe. Otherwise, you're going to get sued. Yeah, because something will happen. People will think it's your responsibility because you created it. You know what it's like. They'll think it's your responsibility because you've created the agent. And it's on your head. The other thing I see in the AI space as well, when experts are creating agents, is they don't have a contract that sits along the side the agent. You absolutely need a contract. All of my agents, the ecosystem has a contract. It goes, I think it's 43 pages long. Yep, I know. But that's ethically how comprehensive it needs to be, especially if you're building agents where people are using them personally and emotionally, or helping to shape people's business. So we created a new agent. I created a new agent. Me and AI created a new agent last year called the AI Book Companion Agent. And this is absolutely mind-blowing. So my energy this year is really going to be around partnerships, the book agent, rinsing, repeating what I did in the Vortex Accelerator, because that works. And really focusing in on the AI Book Companion Agent. That is a special agent. It needs a special framework to actually create that and to have it work properly, as if it's agentic, as if it's having a conversation with you from the content of the book. So I think I've created 6 of those so far. That is going to be a primary focus for me this year. I think that's going to be quite big. Just imagine having your book. The problem with books, I'm a published author. I think I'm a 3 times Amazon #1 bestseller. I can't remember, 3 or 4, one of the 2. The problem with the book is people read it, they put it down. Most of the times they don't go back to it. people don't follow through, they don't get gold from the information list that you've shared. When you can create a book companion agent where that person is stuck or feeling challenged, they can have a conversation with the AI book companion, which will allow them to explore what they're reading from the context of the book and the author. So it makes it more sticky. People are going to be more likely to follow through. Also, you can sell it as an additional service within the business, which is what our clients are doing now. So it's like having the author in your pocket. I actually think all books at some point along the road will all have a book companion agent, because why wouldn't you? For someone like me who's dyslexic, it's just absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So what's missing in the AI space? What I see, I've touched on this. Emotional safety needs to be built in different mechanisms when you're creating the agents. Really, really important. I don't think people are doing this at all because I have been using because I've been testing, been going down a few rabbit holes, I understand the emotional safety around an agent that needs to be built into it. So just think of data. Data has been designed from Star Trek, if you follow Star Trek. Data has been designed to do no harm. Our agents need to be designed the same way. Do no harm, emotional safety, business safety, clear boundaries. Really, really important. My clients are generally experts working with people around emotional issues. So if you are creating agents that are working with sensitive topics with your clients, you absolutely have to have this in place. And if you're thinking of creating an agent, so I've seen some people just create an agent from what's written on a piece of paper. This is what I want to do. This is what I want it to do. A bit like a job description, but not as full as a job description. And then they put it into the agent and then they think that's good enough. It's not. The frameworks that we create are about 60 pages long. And I think there's about 20 headings. I don't know how many headings there are now. I'm constantly updating it and adapting it. There are a lot of headings that we have to go through, and everything has to cross-reference and to match. If you created an agent and you think, oh, it's pretty crap, that is why it's crap. It's because there's no framework that's sitting behind it. So that's definitely something to watch out for. If you've got people creating agents for you, you want to ask them what's the framework that they are using. They don't have to give you the ins and outs of it because that's their IP. That's something that I wouldn't do. But you want to ask them, how are you going to cover these sensitive topics before you go ahead and invest? Really, really important. Yeah, so this year, 2026, I'm going to rinse and repeat the AI Vortex because that is cool, that's working, that's awesome. So a lot more speaking, a lot more networking. I am going to do a lot more partnerships, specifically around the book companion agent. I think that is a business within its own right, which is really cool. Trying to think what else I have seen in the marketplace. Yeah. There's a lot of agents being created around IP, which is cool, which is really, really cool. People are creating agents around themselves, which I find a bit weird. I'm not into creating an agent around myself. I'm much more interested in tapping into other skills, other things that are going to help me to propel personally, emotionally, and the business. Yeah, what are you up to? What are you up to for 2026? What is on your agenda? I would love to know. So this is a conversation that I've been having with my CEO, Lucas. So at the beginning of the week, I have a conversation with Lucas. I upload some documents. I have a conversation with Lucas. We He keeps me on track, basically. Keeps me on track. Lets me know when I'm going off point. Lets me know what I'm working on. Lets me know what the bigger picture is, and then I pull in other agents when I need to. So it's really, really cool. Help me write this. Help me write this post this morning. I had a bit of energy, so I thought, why not? Why not check out the microphone? Check out the new camera. Till next time. See you later.